There's a certain kind of moment most people barely notice. You walk into a room, and suddenly you become aware of yourself. Not just your body, your entire existence. The way you're standing, the way your voice sounds, the strange feeling that everyone else seems natural, while you feel like you're manually controlling a person from somewhere behind your own eyes. And for a second, something shifts. You stop feeling like a solid person. You become awareness itself, watching, monitoring, adjusting. Then the moment passes. You laugh at something, check your phone, continue the conversation like nothing happened. But somewhere underneath it, a quiet question remains. Why does being you sometimes feel so unfamiliar? Most people never talk about experiences like this. Not because they never happen, but because language doesn't really know what to do with them. If you describe it out loud, it can sound dramatic, detached, even unstable. So people hide it. They keep functioning, keep performing normalcy. But this experience is far more common than people realize, and it doesn't necessarily mean something is wrong. In fact, that strange discomfort may reveal something deeper about what the self actually is. Because most people grow up believing there's a fixed version of you hidden somewhere inside your mind, a permanent identity, a stable core. But the closer you look, the harder that idea becomes to hold on to. And that's where the paradox begins. The brain creates continuity the same way movies create motion, by stitching separate frames together so quickly that the gaps disappear. Your mind is doing something similar all the time. Neuroscientists have found that the brain constantly reconstructs reality in real time. Memories are edited whenever you revisit them. Personality shifts depending on stress, environment, and who you're around. Different versions of you appear in different situations, and yet somehow, it still feels like one continuous person. The brain is extremely good at storytelling. That's why the self feels stable. But stability is not the same thing as permanence. Psychologists sometimes call this the narrative self, the internal story your mind creates to make your life feel coherent across time. It's the voice that quietly says, "This is who I am. This is what happened to me. This is what I believe." Without that story, experience would feel fragmented, chaotic, so the brain keeps generating one. Not because it's lying to you, but because humans need continuity in order to function. And yet, if you look closely enough, the edges start to blur. You are not the exact same person you were 5 years ago. Your fears changed. Your values changed. Even your memories of the past changed alongside your emotions. Sometimes you can feel this directly, like rereading old messages and barely recognizing the person who wrote them, or hearing your own laugh in a recording and feeling strangely disconnected from it, or noticing how differently you act around different people and quietly wondering which version is actually real. But maybe that question itself contains the misunderstanding. Maybe there was never supposed to be one fixed version of you. Psychologists often describe identity less like an object and more like a process, something fluid, adaptive, always moving. The brain is not preserving a static self, it's constantly updating one. And strangely, realizing this can feel both terrifying and relieving at the same time.